And good morning. Joining us in studio, we have Brice Long and Monty Holmes. Welcome to Gillette.
Man, thanks. It's good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you here, and you have a couple things going on over in Buffalo at the Occidental. We'll talk about that in a second. But why don't you give us a little bit of a background, where you're from? I mean, I can tell you're not from Wyoming already, right off the bat. I can tell. So,
no,
tell us about your background.
I don't know how you figured that right off the bat. Well, Monty and I are both from Nashville. We're songwriters and out here to play a show, like you said, over at the Occidental Hotel and Saloon on Saturday night at 8 o'clock. So all the good folks around here, come on out and see us. It's going to be fun. And I'm originally from Kentucky, and I moved to Nashville. I've been there 21 years. And
21.
Wow.
21.
You don't even look that old.
Well, I know.
Barely look 21.
I appreciate you saying
He's very
that, too.
mature for his age.
That's right. Believe me, Monty knows. But anyway, been there writing songs and been blessed to have some hit songs by several artists there from town there in Nashville.
Who would that be, Brice?
Who would that be?
Well, I mean, artists like Randy Houser and Gary Allan and Casey James, just for a few of them. And then my old pal over there, he's taken it to the top of the charts a few times with the king of country music.
Yeah, well, see, and I was doing a little bit of research, and you've done quite well for yourself, haven't you?
Well, not nearly as well as Brice has for himself. I'm still there, still doing it.
Well, and I mean, you've written for George Strait.
That's right.
That's somebody. A few people might have heard of that name before.
He's all right. He's got a lot of raw talent. He might make it someday.
He keeps cutting in Monty Holmes songs. He'll be around a lot longer, I promise you.
He probably would have done a lot better if he'd have cut a lot more.
Absolutely.
Well, see, that's what you just need to get a hold of him and say, hey, look, it worked one time. We got to keep going.
Just jerk him up by the collar and say, looky here, son.
That's right.
No, he's probably been my best customer over the years, I've had 9 or 10 cuts by George and Lee and Womack. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you guys definitely have the credentials, and not only are you doing a show, you're actually having a seminar on Sunday as well.
Absolutely.
So
right.
Why don't we talk about that, and then we'll go back to the show.
Okay.
But for those that might be interested in maybe trying to be a songwriter, I mean, that's completely alien to me.
Sure.
I'm tone deaf. I can't rhyme anything, so it's completely alien to me. But I know a lot of people they have that talent, but they might not know how to get into the business. And you guys are kind of here to help out with that, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's, the seminar starts at noon on Sunday at the Occidental Hotel over there. And just to kind of give them a little insight of what goes on there at a seminar like that. I mean, we'll get to talking about songs and kind of give them a little bit of, a day in the life of a songwriter, kind of what we do. What it is to have a publishing deal, what copyright law is about, how to get started, what they're looking for in ideas, and kind of just a general view of what it's like to be a songwriter. And then, talk a little bit about how, we both came to town through the years and the successes and the, and some of the letdowns as well. I mean, it's a tough business, but it's a really great business. And Monty and I both have been blessed, and we know we've been blessed to have songs cut by some of our favorite artists and hits on the radio and that kind of thing. But yeah, just a seminar. If there's anybody out there that's a songwriter or that does write or wants to or thinks they want to, or just kind of wants to know more about being a songwriter, I mean, we'll talk about all those things on Sunday.
Well, and it's kind of a way to give back, I'd imagine, too.
Sure.
I mean, the industry's been so good to you. It's kind of nice to get in touch with the next generation of songwriters, too.
Sure, absolutely. And you never know who you'll meet in these kind of things. I know I did them early on. Before I moved to town, I met a great songwriter by the name of Robert Byrne that was from Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and I went to a seminar, and he was kind of my guy that I got to sit with and talk with, and it was interesting to hear his take on the whole business and what it really took to be a songwriter, because I really didn't know. I mean, I had written stuff and thought I wanted to do it, but I really didn't know exactly how it all went down, and he helped kind of connect some dots for me on that, and made me really think that I could do it, and then want to move to town.
You think he could help me?
Yeah. Well, maybe we'd probably have to go dig him up, Monty. But
you mean literally?
Yeah, literally.
I'm sorry.
Well, I don't think. Don't sell yourself short. You're doing quite all right.
Yeah.
Well, the truth is, mostly what me and Brice do when we get together to write is we sit around and complain about the music business.
Well, that tends to work sometimes. The funny thing is, that's how radio people get creative. They complain about the radio business.
Absolutely, and trying to figure out what we can do to make a difference.
Well, and I think that is I mean, you joke about it, but that's a pretty healthy attitude to have, I think.
Sure.
And if anybody's interested in taking part in the seminar on Sunday, it starts at 12 at the Occidental. Have you guys been out there yet?
Yes,
So
I have. Monty has
my
it.
first trip to Wyoming.
It's a great venue, and
It really is.
It's a really nice place.
It's a very cool place.
So the seminar starts at noon on Sunday at the Occidental in Buffalo. If you have any questions, you can call David Stewart at 307-660-7544. And we'll plug that again right at the end. But let's backtrack a little bit. Of course, you're going to be doing a show on Saturday night as well. So tell us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your show.
Okay. Well, I mean, most songwriter shows, I mean, I don't know very many people maybe or maybe have not been to a songwriter show, but mainly what we do is, we'll sit and talk about the songs that we've written. Like Monty's had, some big songs with George Strait. My favorite song, of course, Monty wrote was Troubadour for George, and I know a lot of people will know that song, but it's really kind of cool to hear the story behind the song, to kind of tell people this is how, this song came about, and this is what, made us want to write this, and this is what we started with. This was the idea, and this is what led to this, and it all came together to be a song, and how it got cut and got on the record, and, became a single. It was a big hit for George Strait, and a lot of people that have never been to that thing, they really find a lot of interesting, facts and stuff about the songs, because a lot of people think that when they hear the artist on the radio that they must have been the one that wrote it. And that's not necessarily always the case. These days there's a lot of artists that write, but that's not necessarily the case. And what we do at a show like that is we'll set down just acoustic guitars, talk about the songs we've written, and then play our version of them. And some of them may be a little different from what they heard on the radio, but it gives the folks a little insight on who we are as writers and what we were able to do and how we were able to get them to the artist and where the songs really came from. And oftentimes we find that a lot of people really enjoy getting to hear the story behind the song.
Well, and I'm sure everyone's probably seen the VH1 storytellers type shows, and it gives you a new appreciation, I think, for the music once you hear the story behind it. And that's the one really cool thing about country music. I mean, even to this day, that like you said, a lot of people assume that the artist that you hear on the radio is the one that wrote the song. And that's mainly the case for pop music and rock music these days. But country music is still that old tradition where you have the songwriter and the musician or the artist, picks. And I even to this day, I go back and I hear some songs and then I find out it was written by somebody else. And it really is kind of cool to find out those stories.
Sure, absolutely. And that's what we'll both do. I mean, people that want to come over and see the show, I think they'll really enjoy it. Just to hear the way we came up with some of these hit songs that they've heard on the radio, and then other cuts too. I mean, maybe that they didn't necessarily, get to hear on the radio, but were album cuts that we've had. Like I said, I've had a lot of songs cut by a lot of different artists. Some of the hits, people will know, but some of them they won't, and it'll be, fun to just kind of see us do our version of some of those songs.
And then once they leave, they can go search out the other versions of those.
Sure.
And you can discover new music that way as well.
Absolutely.
So it's almost it's almost like an educational experience, but it definitely is a great way to experience not only music that you're familiar with, but new music as well.
Yeah, and it's a cool show. It's a great venue to play in. I played over there, 3 years ago, I guess, and did just to sit there in that Occidental Saloon and sit on a stool with a guitar and a lot of folks around, and man, it's a great place to play. I love the sound in there's great, and I think I know every night on Thursday nights and stuff they have the jam, and then Larry and David play on Friday and Saturday nights too. But this Saturday we're gonna take their spot and see if we can bring a little Nashville to Buffalo, Wyoming.
I'm looking forward to this jam tonight.
So yeah, you'll be over there. The Occidental really is a great place, and it was great of them to have you guys come out here and talk with us today. Again, the cover charge for the Saturday show is only $10, and doors open at 7:30. They're actually, the doors will be open all day. They start serving food and beverages at 4 p.m. all the way till closing. It's only $10, and if anybody's interested in reserving a seat for the seminar on Sunday that starts at noon, you can call David Stewart again, 307-660-7544. Brice Long, Monty Holmes, thank you so much for stopping by, and welcome to Wyoming. And trust me, it's not always this cold and snowy.
Thanks for having us.
Okay.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
And there'll be an open mic after the seminar as well.
Oh, cool.
So
What does that mean?
That means anybody can get up and play, Mike.
Oh, just anybody?
Well,
Anybody at the seminar's got some songs they want to play. They can get up and play those songs after the seminar as well. So.
Well, there you go, and maybe somebody will hear it.
Absolutely.
That's what the open mic's all about. So again, thank you guys for coming in, and have a great weekend. And it will warm up, I promise.
Cool. Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you
Very much.